This shit again. Take number 899, 899. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lady Nika and with last night's episode of Iyanla Fixing My Life. This is season 5, episode 5, entitled The Mitchell Brothers Part 2. Now, I originally thought at the end of last week, we was going to get the finale conclusion of this and move on to another case. But it appears as if we're going to have a part 3 to this. But let's talk about what happened last night on part 2. The episode opened up with Iyanla out in the kitchen area cooking breakfast. Some she say the brothers have never had together as a collective, if at all. Some ain't had it in years, some ain't had it at all because they were separated during the foster care years and whatnot. Okay, so she cooking them a breakfast, thinking that this is gonna be yet another thing to bring them closer. Meanwhile, upstairs you got Marcus and I think it was Melvin be just going at each other, and they both failing to listen to one another, so it's making the argument worse and worse to the point that Iyanla has to come upstairs, her and her staff, and separate them. To Marcus she says, you have got to figure out, we have got to get a grip on this anger. This anger is going to consume you and take over you. And the only place you'll end up is right next to Montre or next to Miguel, down to the cemetery. To Melvin, she asked him, why, what was going on, and how does it make you feel when he says the gay and all of that stuff? Because they was hitting each other with bullets back to back, back to back. And he says that he don't ain't bothered by people calling him gay. He told us that at age 10, when people realized that he was gay, and he would so much as just look at a man from that moment on, because they knew that or figured he was going to be a gay boy, they would tell him that every man he looking at, he trying to get them to fuck him. Now, I was like him, how the hell do I know anything about fucking at age 10? If your child know anything about fucking at age 10, you failed as a parent. There's just certain things that shouldn't be said. Certain things. Kids lose their innocence too damn fast for me. And you can clearly see, because they were born to drug addicted parents, these kids lost their innocence so long ago. Nothing that should have been sacred about their innocence was spared. It was just ripped away from them. Okay? And Iyanla told him, that does bother you. Stop saying it don't bother you. Because even though you may identify as a gay man, who wants to have anybody throwing that up in their face all the time? Eventually, they all meet back in the kitchen, and Melvin apologized to Marcus for blaming him for doing what he was accusing. He apologized to Marcus for doing what he was accusing Marcus of doing, which was not listening. Marcus said that he apologized because he he don't want to fight his brother. He just can't take what his brother be saying sometimes, because it comes off and it hurts him. They ended up making up, and Iyanla was elated because a breakthrough happened right then, in opposed to being a breakup. These are the kind of things that are possible when you open to the process. I still wish that Kamaya and her family had been, really ready to do the work. Because like I told y'all on previous reviews, the woman ain't here to fix your life. She there to identify what it is that's stopping you from being a mentally and emotionally stable person. And if you get to that place of where you know where the hurt is, then her referral program helps you to go ahead on and see the therapist in your area or whatever that you need. And if Kamaya and them had been open to this, had actually came into the healing house for help, then they would have been able to, it would have been beneficial for them. But we can see that these boys are actually there for healing. They actually want to identify the problem so that they can rebuild their relationships with one another and live in peace. That's what they want. So we having this large breakfast with Iyanla, and they just talking and explaining She explaining if one falls down, they all fall down. She told Marcus that if he continues on, he will have something happen to him. And the one of the brother Melvin said, and that's one of our fears, because what he don't understand is by him saying he don't care what happens to him, and then something actually does happen to him, then that is adding more pain on top of the pain that we already all going through anyway. I forgot to mention when she separated the brothers, Marcus and Melvin, the other brothers were upstairs in the room, and we learned from Mikhail that at one time, right after his brother died, it was like that's all he could think about was hurting somebody. He didn't give a damn. He gave up on life, and the only thing that he could do is to think about what his family was saying. What about your children? Because he too is a father. So he realized that when they go out there and do reckless activities, it's not just them that has to suffer the consequences, but it's the family as a whole. And that was good that he know that. Now we need to get Marcus doing that. Iyanla said to them, you need to learn from your mistakes. Melvin says he has great ideas and but he loses his ambition sometimes. So she asked him to close your eyes and just speak what it is that you wanted. And he was giving her a whole lot of I want a car, I want a family, I want this. She said, but what do you really want? And he began to cry because he said the one thing he wants the most is acceptance. And she said, that is the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. Speak it, speaking it out loud, and letting it finally be heard is the beginning of you being able to work toward being in that place. And it ended up making him smile, child. I was happy for him. These boys are real. These ain't, even though they come from, the worst of the worst situation, these boys are very, very smart, and they know how to express themselves well. So we can get some progress going real easily with them. Then she wanted to bring someone. She had them all sit at another table, and she said she wanted to bring someone in the group with their permission so they could hear his story. And they looking like who? She said she leave the kitchen area to go see if her guest was there. So when they wind up meeting back up, child, they playing breakthrough bingo, she calls in Michael Sr. They looking like what the fuck, but they ain't say nothing. But we learned they never, we did learn they ain't never even played a simple board game with their dad. And I was like, damn, I used to play board games with my kids all the time, but that's just the difference in parenting, okay? The goal is to show them how similar they truly are when she does this exercise. They shared experiences. Uh, They have shared experiences, is what she called it. Abandonment was the first word. Michael Jr. said he feels it. He said he feels invisible at times. He knows that he has some developmental changes that he don't fully understand, but he not invisible. And unlike the rest of the brothers who got a brother before them because they kind of stair steps, Michael Jr. is at the front of the line. So he has no one to feed off of. And he just feel like he's there. He's the beginning of the line because they had an ain't shit daddy. And that's basically what she said. And because of that, they treat him like he invisible. They started saying that they do that as a way to protect him. And she had to explain to them, no, y'all not protecting him. Y'all acting like he ain't him. Because y'all deem him to be a little slow. Everything you feeling and you feeling and you feeling, he feeling that same thing or his own form of it. So why do y'all treat him like he invisible? And she pointed out, since they've been in the healing house, she's watched them do that to him several times. So y'all not protecting him by treating him like he invisible. She says no one, okay. They talked about the type of abuse they suffered. And it was verbal for Mikhail. He gave a few examples of how he was verbally abused. Michael Jr. said he gets pretty much the same. And we learned at some point they all was homeless, child. They never, and then one time when they was homeless, they ended up sleeping in an abandoned or a broke down vehicle, but they was free because even though it was cold temperatures outside, it was a lot warmer in that abandoned ass car than it was to be out in the elements where there's direct contact to the skin, and none of them had coats. Michael Sr. said it angers him that he wasn't there to be a real dad. Marcus said he felt guilty for abandoning his brothers, and this is where they do this exercise where, hold on, we see him doing this exercise where he has to talk about what he feels, what he feels guilty for, okay? And it got hard for him, but instead of Iyanla letting him stop, she ended up having him stand up. She stood behind him, back to back, and as he released it, she told him to put pressure on her. In other words, as you're releasing it, let it go. Let it go. And he said that, he felt like he abandoned his brother. He felt guilty he didn't stand up for his brother at times and for Miguel's death. For me, he said it feels like he didn't, he felt like he wasn't there for his brothers, and that resulted in Miguel's death. So what I got out of that, remember when they first came into the house on the first episode last week, they came in the house saying that Marcus, and he even said it, that he blamed Michael Jr. for Miguel's death. Well, what he actually felt was he failed all of them, and because he wasn't there to protect Michael, and Miguel tried to, he is the reason why his brother ultimately died. And so it was more toward him carrying guilt of that on himself, opposed to him being mad at his brother, because they've reconciled in their minds that he has some developmental issues, and so they don't expect that of him. But they underestimate him at the same time, because even though he got issues, he still feels stuff and he still can be talked to, and they still need to recognize him as a human being and not just a body. Child. Then Mikael came and took Iyanla's spot to hold Marcus as he released, and he said the next he feels guilty for is the hurt that he's passing down to his kids. That was deep. Another brother stood in front of Mikael and held him up, and he admitted his anger also for his dad for not being there. The dad wanted to leave, but Iyanla told him, where you going? So he ended up actually going over there and hugging Mikael and apologizing to him for not being there. But he wanted to know, how can I make it right? Michael Sr. and Marcus walked off to talk. The other three brothers didn't know how to feel. One said it was weird because they seen the man that caused them hurt all these years finally be hurt himself. And Iyanla said, it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. Then we reconvened, and Iyanla told the dad that it's time that he come clean and tell his sons what happened. She asked, where is the mama? And Mike Sr. said, in California in rehab. Iyanla said, well, how long? He said he don't know. All he know is that's what her mother said. She said, you know what? They can't forgive you until you're willing to tell the story. Because what you telling me so far ain't adding up. Okay, the mama, how long she been in rehab? How long that's been going on? These boys then from babies, these is young men now in their late 20s, early 30s, and you sitting here telling me that all you know is they mama was in California in rehab and nothing else, and all of that ain't adding up together. She said if you want these boys to ever forgive you or to have a relationship with you, you gonna have to come up with something better than that. Cause it don't make no sense. First of all, why would you keep having babies with a woman who keeps abandoning her children? And for her, why would she keep procreating with a man that obviously she feels is not a good man? It don't make sense. So something in your story not adding up, and until you come clean, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to help you. Cause something missing here, and she walked out. Then we see the mom, child. She said her name is Larhonda, aka Frankie 2.0, as some of y'all have told me. She said she and Mike Sr. had 7 kids because Mike Sr. was growing up. He was one of 7 siblings, and he always wanted to have 7 kids. So she gave that to him. I said, but you gave him 8 because it's a girl involved. She said that Iyanla asked her, your kids. Well, she asked her why she left her children. She said she left her children because of her crack addiction. And I said, damn. Iyanla said they don't trust you because they don't think you're gonna stick around. Iyanla told her that she need what the kids been through, and she asked what can she do, and Iyanla said they will tell her and warn her. You will need to she gonna need to understand that she got to build another type of relationship with these boys. Don't expect to have a mother-son relationship because the time when that should have been going on, you were nowhere around. Then we meet Kissy, the younger sister. And I was just shocked at this girl. She feel like her mama didn't love her. She said her mama tried. She said her grandmother tried to get her mama to come home many a times, but she wouldn't do it. Not even when the grandma got her an apartment, she still ran out. And in that girl mind, her mama was running off to be with the boys. So she done built up a resentment for years with her brothers, thinking that each time the mother wasn't there or ran off, she was going to be with the brothers. Iyanla said, "You sure about that?" She was like, "Yeah." So even Larhonda is trying to tell her I wasn't with the boys. She still feel like because they was in the same state or the same city, she was with the brothers. So Iyanla said, you know what? The best way for you to hear and understand what's going on here is for you to hear from the horse's mouth. Now I thought at that time she was going to bring all the brothers in, but she only brought Marcus, which is the oldest one. Well, now the oldest mature one. I'll say that because Michael Jr. is actually the oldest one, but y'all know that he got some developmental issues, and I guess she felt like he wouldn't be able to convey how the family was feeling, how the boys felt. So Marcus come and talk to Kissy and the mom. Marcus said their mom was never there with them. They was homeless at one point and in foster care most of their lives. Marcus said Marcus used to think that the mom was with the sister. Iyanla said this is why communication is key. The boys been in 75 to 85 foster homes. They wasn't with the mother. Kissy is so mad she act like she really ain't hearing that until the mama just tell her look. And we find out that grandma may be a alright grandma now, but grandma was planting seeds because there's a lot of things that's gonna come out in this next episode that came from the grandmother about her mama. So I guess from what we understanding, Kissy over here thinking that her brothers now is the first people that the mother want to be with and that she loves them. But the mama was out there strung out on drugs. The grandma was planting seeds of dissension between all of them from what it seems like. I mean, I don't know, that might not be the case next week, and I'll retract my words if I have to. But it seemed like grandma was not as good a grandma as she could be, because from what we understood, although Kissy grew up way better than them, she had the nice clothes, the home. She went to schools. She grew up, not being molested and homeless and whatnot. She still, all these years, have held resentment because even though she was living in, compared to their life, the lap of luxury, she's always been angry with them, thinking that they took the mom away from her for them. And they on the other side, the brothers saying, we thought she was over there being a mother to you and just leaving us out here to dry. So, child, it kind of ended right there with Larhonda saying, let me tell you something. The mother that you had, the grandmother that you had, was not the same woman that was a mother to me. So we're going to learn a little bit more about this grandmother. I think a lot of the problem going to lie with that grandma. I ain't saying all of it, but as far as planting seeds of dissension and discord amongst these kids, the grandmother might have had a whole lot to do with that. I still fully blame the parents because when you have children, if you fucked up, don't be giving birth to children. And it didn't take you 8 births to realize that you're a fucked up individual, but yet you continue to have children and leave them on the state. Because even Michael Sr. was not in any position to take care of those kids, and you was leaving them. So that's where it let off at. Next week we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into this case, and hopefully we will get some type of resolve to where they at least want to have a relationship with both their parents. Now they can't come in there trying to act like they them boys' mama and daddy, even though they is, because you missed the time where you were supposed to be building that type of relationship. Now you at a stage where, if possible, y'all can at least be cool with each other. Y'all get what I'm saying? If you do, let me know down in the panel. But that was it. That was all. Y'all, please look out for my Real Housewives of Atlanta video. It's up tonight as well as this video. Thank you all for watching. You know, I try to do my best with Miss Iyanla because she make me think, bitch. And you see I was stretching and everything. Yeah, I get stretching because I'm thinking, honey. I'm thinking. But I'm glad that these boys are open to the process. And apparently the parents is too because they there. And they are answering questions. Things going to get kind of rough for that mama next week, I seen by the preview. But hopefully we're going to have a happy resolve with this family. I hope so anyway. I want to see these people, you know, at least get on the road to trying to build a relationship with each other. Cause God, it was a rocky story. Was it not? Was it not? Y'all remember the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video wherever you see videos at. Wherever it is you share videos at. I will be back tomorrow. Well, I don't know. It depends on how I feel tomorrow. We got Real House. No, we got Love and Hip Hop Atlanta premiere tomorrow. We have the second part of Love and Hip Hop Miami. And for those of y'all that may be interested, we have the Queen Supreme Court coming back tomorrow night with T.S. Madison and question mark. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern time, color people time, all that shit. Will you be watching? Let me know. Also, get down in the panel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this episode. I was kind of all over the place, but I'm tired. But I was trying to get the review to y'all. But I think y'all got what the hell I was saying. So we gonna collab. You know, we're gonna fellowship down here again tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Have a great beginning of your week. Don't let nobody take you out of your character this week. Don't let nobody steal your joy this week. And keep being the best you know. That's what I can tell you. Peace.